Welcome back to the arcade for another arcade fix. Okay, what you see right here is my Popeye board. This is the board that I bought off of eBay, and I started on repairing it. It's been almost 2.5 years ago. I have a series on my YouTube channel about getting this board back up and running again. And I go through the whole process from trying it out when I first got it, and it didn't work, of course, to cleaning it up. I had to remove all the socketed chips. They were in bad shape. Well, I'm not going to go into it. We had to replace all the sockets and reburn all the ROMs and replace a lot of the chips. And over a course of 9 videos, actually it's 10 because the first one was just the unboxing and trying it out. But the actual repair was a 9 video YouTube series. So go back and watch that if you want to see how I got this board working. Now, about a year ago, I was going to put this board in my Donkey Kong Jr. cocktail. I actually dug it out. It was buried in the garage. And I got this board back out. I hooked it back up. And it didn't work. Just sitting here for about 1.5 years in the game room, it developed another problem. So I said, oh, heck with it. I went on to something else. I set it back on the shelf, and it's been bugging me ever since. So yesterday it was raining, and I said, well, let me get this board out and just see what I can figure out with it. So I hooked it up to my test rig with my jammer cabinet here and fired it up, and here we go. Show you what it's doing. Wonderful screen, isn't it? A bunch of 4s, 2s, and 0s, and something going on in the background. It's like the video, something is moving. But it's still basically a static screen, garbage. That's usually an indication that the CPU is not running. But how can we figure that out? So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to make some checks here. And of course I got the pinout of the Z80. And well, actually what I did was I went ahead and I said, well, maybe the Z80 is not running because maybe one of the ROMs, which I burned all new ROMs for this, so maybe a ROM is a problem. So I went ahead and I took all the ROMs off the board, both the CPU and the video board, which is underneath. I checked them in my ROM burner, and I found 2 ROMs that were bad. Go figure. I guess at this point all these ROMs are old. You know, they don't make them anymore, and I had to burn old ROMs, so 2 of them was bad. So I went ahead and I had to get 2 more, reburn those. This is one of them right here. But I knew that couldn't be the problem because this is the program ROM on the CPU board. And I had a high score saves kit installed. And the high score saves kit doesn't even use these ROMs. So I figured that wasn't a problem, but I went ahead and I burned a ROM anyway, because one thing that I've kind of learned from watching some videos, when you're troubleshooting a board, you're best to put it back to its original state. So I removed the high score save kit and I put the Z80 back in. I also checked the V80, put it in another game, and the Z80 is good, and that was a new Z80. So now I know I had the software, the ROMs were good, the Z80 is good. I checked all the RAMs in my Inquisitor, So everything checked out good, but I'm still getting this. Okay, so next thing to do, we need to find out, is the CPU working or not? Is it running code? And there are a few things you can do to check that. First, we need to check pin 11, which is the VCC, which is the power, and should be 5 volts. So let's go ahead and check that. That's pin 11. So let me get my voltmeter here. And we'll check pin 11. Let's see, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's pin 11 right there. And you want to make sure you're not shorting anything. And I'm getting 5.15. That's good. Voltage is not the problem. Okay. All right. Next thing we need to do is check pin 6, which is the clock. It should be pulsing, and it should be at 4 megahertz. All right, well, let me get my logic probe out here, and we'll check pin 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're getting a pulse. So we have a clock. Is it the clock correct? Well, let's get the voltmeter back out, and we'll put it on hertz. And let's see, that was pin 6. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're getting 3.999 megahertz. So I'd say we got our signal that we're supposed to be getting. Okay, so we got the clock. So we know we got voltage, and we know we got clock. All right, now let's check pin 26, which is the reset. The reset should be high. Okay, again, we're going to do that with a logic probe. Okay, pin 26. So this is a 40-pin chip. So this is pin 1, this is pin 20, and we're looking for 26. So we'll go over on the other side here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And we do have a high signal. Now, what we also need to check, this is going to be kind of hard to do, check to see if when we turn the game on, it should be low and then go high. So let me set up for that real quick. All right, reset, pin 26. 21, 22, 24. Okay, that's the reset. Right there. So let me cut the game off. Let me see, I have that in camera. Yes. Turn it back on. You should see the green low come on, and then it should go high. And it did. So we know the reset is working. Okay. Okay, so the reset starts out low and goes high. So reset is good. Now I have pin 18, the halt. It should always be high. Okay, so let's check the halt and see if it's high. And that's pin 18. So again, this is 20, 19, 18. Whoops, wrong one. Need the logic probe, not the pulsar. 18, so it's 20, 19, 18 right here. And we are high. So the halt signal is fine. So it looks like the CPU is okay, but is it running code? Okay. Well, we should be getting pulses on the We have the address bus, which is A0 through A15, and we have the data bus, which is D0 through D7. So again, we'll take the logic probe, and we'll start with pin 1, which is A11, and we'll just work our way down. Pin 6, of course, is the clock. So we should have, all the way down to pin 15, we should have signals. And on this side, too, we should have signals. So let's just check a few of those and see if we have any address or data. Again, those things look so alike. Leave my logic probe here. All right, it is flat, totally dead. All right, pin 1, pin 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is the clock, that's pulsing. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I got a high. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is high, 17 is high, 18 is high, 19 is high, 20 is high. And on the other side, this is hard looking through the camera and trying to hit these pins without shorting anything out. I guess I could put it on the tripod again. Basically, we got nothing. The CPU is dead. We're not getting any action on it at all. So I'm pretty sure the CPU is dead. So how can we know for sure? All right, well, let me cut the game off. And somewhere around here. Seem to have lost my chip puller. Oh well. Let's pull the CPU. Okay, come on. All right. Ah, here it is right here. All right, we pulled the CPU. So the board has no CPU in it now. Let's turn it on and see what happens. We get basically the same thing. It's a little different. The background is not moving. So it's possible something might have been doing something, but basically it's not. For all intents and purposes, the CPU is not talking to the RAM or the ROMs, because we got no activity. Okay. All right, let's put the CPU back in. All right. being stubborn. All right, CPU's back in. Let's turn the game back on. And we're back to the background is scrolling. So maybe something is doing something. I don't know. All right, so what do we do now? Well, I broke out the logic probe again, and I broke out the schematics. All right, these are the same schematics I used 2.5 years ago to fix this board. As you can see, and in case you didn't watch my other videos on repairing this Popeye board, you can see I got, this is the Z80 right here, okay? The Z80 on the schematic is this long chip right here. And as you can see by everything on here, I got these red, yellow, and green dots, okay? Well, that's because my logic probe has green for low, red for high, and yellow for pulsing, okay? So I went through the entire schematic, the entire board, and each one of the, well, not everything, because you can see some things are not, I didn't do. Basically because this is the clock circuit, and the clock circuit was working, so I didn't go into that. I knew the clock was okay. Because, you know, I checked the signal and all that was good last time. Now this chip right here is one that was bad last time that I replaced at C6. That was the DMCS signal, and I didn't get it, didn't have it at all. So that's the one that brought it mostly back to life last time. Anyway, these are the address lines, and down here are some of the data lines, and they all before were pulsing. They had high, pulse, low. So they all had activity on them. But we don't have that activity now. So there has to be something amiss connected with the CPU. So I started with this sheet right here because the CPU has 3 sheets. This is sheet 1 of 3 for the CPU. Okay, so it's three of these schematic sheets, and I blew it up oversized, make it easier on me. Anyway, I'm going to start with the one with the CPU, and we're going to check the supporting chips that support the, actually I guess there would be decoders that goes between the CPU and the ROM and the RAM, and see if anything is out of order. So what I did was I started up here with all these signals, and these right here, P2, that's one of the ribbon cables that takes it down to the video board. So I started checking this with the logic probe, and at 1E, which is the LS138, and all these checked out good. This LS367 here, that checked good. So I said, well, all this up here was looking pretty good. So I said, well, all right, let's try somewhere else. So I got to thinking, well, let's go to some of the major signals on the Z80 here. And I got to the bus request, okay? And the bus request is supposed to be toggling. High, pulse, low. That's what it was doing before. But now I'm getting a low signal. Okay, I got a low signal on it. So I said, well, that don't seem right. So I started to backtrack back, and I started to check this LS74. And I went back here and I checked this LS02 at position 2K. Okay, well right here, it was low. And this is the VB, whatever that is. I'm not sure what VB is. Maybe somebody can tell me in the comments. But this whole line going all the way over to the CPU just wasn't right, okay? And this is part of 2K, the LS02. This is part of 2K, LS02. Just this is pins 1, 2, and 3. And these are pins 11, 12, and 13. So I knew something was up right in this section right here. So just grins and giggles, I got me a LS02. Okay. Here it is, a brand new LS02. And this is at 2K on the board. So let me find it. I got it marked. Here's 2K. This is it on the board. As you can see, this board was kind of in bad shape. These legs on these ICs were rusted real bad. I cleaned them up as best I could with the fiberglass scratch pen, but they done rusted back again. But okay, here's 2K. And it feels okay, but it's not hot or anything. So we're going to do the old piggyback jobber on it. See if I can get it on here right. All right, let me reset it. Boom, there we go. All right, we'll now have a working game. All because of that one chip, LS74 LS02. This chip right here, which was keeping the bus request line low. So now all I got to do is heat up my desoldering and soldering station. We're going to pull this chip off and put a socket in and replace it. And that should fix the problem. So let's find out. Okay. Well, we got a new socket in and our new 74 LS02. Got my chip tester out here, and let's give it a try here. And it says not found. Okay. So here's another brand new O2. Put that in there. And it finds it. 74 LS02. Okay. One more thing we can do here. Let's do it manually. 74 LS O2, and let's put the good one in. Hit test. Says it's okay. Let's put the bad one in. Test. Fault. So, that chip was bad. Alright. Got it all hooked up. So, let's turn power on and see what we get. And we get Popeye. All right. Okay, well, another problem fixed. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're going to have more fixes like this here coming up. As a matter of fact, I have another Popeye board that I bought off of eBay. Yes, I did. Why did I do it? I don't know. Why does anybody do stuff like that? Well, so we can fix it. Okay, well, that'll be another video. But until then, this has just been another arcade fix. Have you had your arcade fix today?
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm going to finish cause I keep living. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm one of the locusts which hates all polluters. What takes on the up and square. Like this and I bottom and always I'll thrust them, but none of them get nowhere.